All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Film Room, Season 2, Episode 7. I'm here with Perry and Nate. Guys, how are we doing today?
Doing great.
Doing great.
So, guys, I know it's been a minute again, but this past week, I was busy at Las Vegas, not gambling, none of that fun stuff. I was there for one event only. It's called CinemaCon. In this episode, all we're doing is recapping the whole event. We're going through the panels from Sony, Warner Brothers, Paramount, Disney, Universal, Focus Features, all that stuff. Lionsgate cannot be there, unfortunately, which is a shame because they have Michael Jackson coming out soon. They have Hunger Games in December, so they could have marketed those two movies as well. But Lionsgate was only panel not there. And so, without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and I gotta say, this is my fourth straight year going to CinemaCon, and each year has never disappointed ever. This is an event for all film lovers, and but most importantly, it's not a fan event. It's for theater owners. So there's a reason why you guys are talking about the whole trailer for Doomsday. We'll get to that in a second, but there's a reason why that's not been leaked, and I'll explain that part later on in the episode. So guys, without further ado, Monday we had Sony. And Sony's panel was actually the most underwhelming panel because, as far as presentations go, we had almost nothing happen. But we got Spider-Man: Brand New Day. We get an exclusive clip from the movie played for us with a new trailer. We got the new trailer for Insidious, trailer for Resident Evil. We got two novel adaptations. One called Clara and the Sun, played by Jenna Ortega, and The Nightingale. We get a Grand Gear film by Takashi Yamazaki. By the way, guys, whenever you're not talking, please mute the background. Please just mute yourselves whenever you're not talking, just so we don't avoid the background sounds. Same with you, Nate. Actually, I'll do it for you. There we go. All right, guys. Anyways, Takashi Yamazaki, the same director for Godzilla, he's creating Grand Gear and picture basically Pacific Rim, but the same director as Godzilla. We didn't get much footage from it. It was like black. It was like a very, very, very small scissor reel. So that's that. And also we got a Bloodborne animated film, The Social Reckoning, of course, a new animated film called Buds, which we didn't get any from that at all. Of course, we got footage from Beyond the Spider-Verse, and we got a clip in a trailer for Jumanji 4. So Perry and Nate, let's see who wants to go first. Based on what I just mentioned, which movie are you looking? Also, a live action Zelda was of course talked about, but we got no footage from Zelda. So with all that said from Sony, which movie are you looking forward to the most between that list? Perry, we'll start with you.
Well, I think the obvious answer would be Beyond the Spider-Verse. I know this is now many years in the making to wrap up this conclusion. The first two movies were amazing, and I'm very much looking forward to Beyond the Spider-Verse. But I'd like to give a special shout out to the new Godzilla movie, Godzilla Minus Zero. I was blown away with Minus One. The mix of the VFX and practical, not puppets, but they used actual miniatures with Godzilla destroying the city and doing all these cool things. And now he's going past the Statue of Liberty. He's grown much bigger in size. So that's another one that I'm very much looking forward to.
All right, how about you, Aspect?
Which movies did you list off?
Yeah, got you. So Sony gave us Spider-Man: Brand New Day, a trailer for Insidious, a teaser for Resident Evil. We got two novel adaptations, Clara and the Sun, and The Nightingale. We got Grand Gear by Takashi Yamazaki, who made Godzilla. We have Bloodborne, an animated film, The Social Reckoning, a new animated film called Buds. We got no information on that at all. Buds is just about a plant who broke the plant rule by talking to a human. We got Beyond the Spider-Verse, and we got a clip and a trailer for Jumanji 4 with information on the Zelda. No footage from Zelda.
Ooh.
That's from Sony.
Wow. Okay, well, I mean, off the bat, I think we have two Spider-Mans in the
Yeah,
running. I think I'm gonna have to go with Spider-Verse, dude. It's so cool to like. I mean, we've been waiting for this movie for God knows how long.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited to get it already. And on top of that, just I'm a lover of animation, and Spider-Verse was that like movie that kind of redefined the animation renaissance. It revolutionized everything, and now everyone's doing the whole like, let's cut back on the frames and change the style mid-movie and all this cool stuff, and animate one character on ones and the other on twos. But yeah, I think I'm mostly anticipating Spider-Verse.
I have to admit though, a fan favorite. I'm watching this other podcast on YouTube, and they're mentioning that The Social Reckoning got a lot of love. You know, the sequel to Social Network, which I am ashamed to mention. I've not seen Social Network yet, but before watching Social Reckoning, I gotta watch it. But that movie got the most love besides Spider-Man. I have to admit. When the whole preview comes out, we'll discuss it. Hopefully, I don't get banned again. But yeah, Social Reckoning is my one sleeper besides Jumanji 4. Which, by the way, before we move on, Jumanji 4, guys, the whole story is so entertaining and so intriguing that I did not know we needed another Jumanji movie until we saw this trailer. Because now, if you guys watch the ending of Jumanji 3, the ending of that showed the animals from the video game in the world. So now we're having The Rock's character, Dr. Bravestone, Karen Gillan, and Jack Black, Kevin Hart. We're getting all those characters from the game into the actual world now. And they have this hilarious accent because they're portraying their characters the way they're meant to be, voiced. And the way these sound in this movie into the actual real world is truly hilarious. And again, this clip just sold me instantly. So I cannot wait for the world to see this trailer. I gotta say, it really did impress me. Jumanji 4.
Wait, so you're excited for Jumanji 4?
Oh yeah. Before I was not. I didn't know we needed another one. But after seeing this trailer and the clip, I'm there day one. It looks so interesting. It looks so good.
I thought it was the franchise was a little tired in my opinion, but I see as you actually saw footage from the movie and now that your mind has been turned. Maybe not.
Two things I'd like to say before we move on. One, I really do hope you watch The Social Network.
I will.
It's a fantastic movie. I'm curious to see what The Social Reckoning entails, because I know it's not the same Zuckerberg, it's not the same cast.
Right.
And it's not about the formation of Facebook, so I'm curious to see what the story is and what they actually cover in the movie. And then the second thing, on Jumanji, the very first one, the one with Robin Williams, had all of the animals come into the real world. So I guess this is kind of a call.
Very similar, yes. Original. Yeah. And this reminding me, The Rock actually mentioned how in this movie, almost every scene has an Easter egg or callback to that movie. Like the dice is actually I think the dice from the first movie is being worn in this movie as a necklace, or they're actually using that same dice. The Rock said, I'm trying to remember, but Dwayne Johnson mentioned that dice being used in this movie or just being seen as an Easter egg to that callback. He mentioned that. So it's very interesting. But yeah, I mean, besides Jumanji 4, of course, Spider-Man, both movies, we got footage from both. And Beyond the Spider-Verse, we saw a clip between Miles Morales and the Prowler in the house with extra footage that I'm sure went online, so that's not a really surprise. But the ratio, if you guys ever see the pictures online from the movie, the ratio of Beyond Spider-Verse is the same way those pictures are. Like it's more of a square than a rectangle type ratio, which makes it more interesting. But yeah, I mean, this is the last film of the trilogy franchise, and this has a good debate to be among the best trilogies of all time. Seeing everyone talk about it around me, seeing the footage. I mean, guys, don't sleep in this movie. Don't sleep.
I can't believe you've never watched Social Network.
I know, man. I mean, what year did it come out? What year? Maybe that's the reason why. 2010? Okay, so yeah. So 2010, I was in my fucking Disney era until 2013.
but even to watch it when you're older.
Yes.
Yeah, that movie doesn't stay
You're
just
right.
available within that.
No, you're right.
time
You're
period.
right. You're right. I'm sure it's out online everywhere right now by digital. But that's the movie I'm gonna watch for sure. 'Cause I love Andrew Garfield. I love Jesse Eisenberg. So seeing them two in that movie, I'm sure I'll be entertained. And I guess it's the social media type of story, Facebook, all that stuff. So I'm definitely gonna watch The Network for The Reckoning. And Jeremy
It's a
Allen
must
White,
watch.
yes, Jeremy Allen White is in The Reckoning. You have Mickey Madison from Honora in this movie as well with Jeremy Strong. The dynamic is incredible, so I'm looking forward to this to watch them specifically. But I guess anything else from Sony before we move on?
Nah, man, all you.
All right, so that was Monday for Sony. I'm gonna skip Tuesday because that was Neon and G Kids. Tuesday, we really just got in the morning the new trailer or teaser for Godzilla Minus Zero, and now it's Godzilla. This movie is about Godzilla in New York. We see a small, very small 5-second clip of Godzilla walking past the Statue of Liberty. That's all we got. That's it. So looking forward to that. That was the morning. Neon was like a 4-movie slate, nothing special, except for Hokum with Adams. I think Adam or Andrew Scott. It's a horror film about a novelist who goes to this hotel, and I forget where the hotel is located, but he goes into his hotel and to scatter his father's or parents' ashes. I want to find out this hotel is haunted by a witch. So it's definitely a horror film. It's called Hokum, starring Adam or Andrew Scott. He got an award at CinemaCon for the award show, and so that was nice to see from Neon. But next up, guys, Tuesday, arguably my favorite panel besides Disney for the week. Tuesday, Warner Bros. Let's walk through the whole slate. So we got just this year alone, guys. Recapping Warner Bros. Panel, we got a clip and a trailer. Tom Cruise came on stage with the director of Digger. Digger was a clip with a trailer, a long trailer for Digger with a D. Yes, the name is going to be very misleading sometimes. I think Digger, a clip and trailer, and we've never seen Tom Cruise like we have in this movie. He's balding, he's fat, the complete opposite of his Mission Impossible days. He's hilarious. It's a action thriller comedy all in one. We got a clip from Mortal Kombat. We got a clip. We got a really gory clip and a trailer from Evil Dead Burn. Picture Final Destination, but more gory. That's Evil Dead Burn for you. We got a teaser for Clayface for DC, and this is a rated R body horror film. Clayface. It's really a horror film. We got a long 14-minute clip and a trailer for Supergirl, a trailer for End of Oak Street, a trailer for The Cat in the Hat, the animated one with Bill Hader. We got a trailer, and like Perry knows, the whole intro to Dune 3 and a trailer was shown, so I know how Dune 3 begins. We got a teaser for Practical Magic 2 with Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman. And guys, before we move on, we got the whole ad for Nicole Kidman, how we come to the movies to share this, that, blah, blah, blah. Nicole Kidman did that whole dialogue in front of us. And to hear that in front of us was truly special. But anyways, Perry and Aspect, let's see who wants to go first. Which movie, and if you want, I can say it again, which movie stands out to you the most, and which one are you looking forward to watching the most from Warner Brothers?
So there's a lot that you mentioned that I'm looking forward to. For me, the number one, and I'm very jealous that you got to see the opening for it, is Dune Part 3. I think that this has the chance, just like the Spider-Verse movies, to go down as one of the greatest trilogies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see that world again. I know the novel that it's based off of, Dune Messiah, is a lot darker and a lot more differently paced to...
This time, sorry to interrupt you, it's not called this time. Denis Villeneuve said it's not called Dune Messiah, it's just called Dune 3. So there's maybe a reason for that this time.
But it's mostly based on Dune Messiah.
Yeah.
And from what I heard from that 7-minute intro, it's very action-packed, similar to the means of Saving Private Ryan with
Mhm.
D-Day, and that has me super, super excited. And then to shout out one more movie here, although there's plenty to be excited about here, I'm also very much looking forward to Digger
Yeah.
with Tom Cruise. And I like the fact that he's going towards action comedy. If
Mhm.
any of you have seen Tropic Thunder, you know he can dive into the
Oh yeah.
comedic aspects, and we already know that he's a huge action star. So I think this is an interesting step to take in his career after finishing the Mission Impossible movies last year.
Mhm. All right. How about you, Aspect?
I am also going to have to go with Digger. It seems, I mean, honestly, um, he pretty much said it perfectly. Tom Cruise has dipped his foot in the whole like action comedy pool before, and he did amazingly. And to see him do it again, and I think because Tom Cruise is the most confident and comfortable actor in all of Hollywood's A-list category, I think, and he has like this swagger to his roles that I'm ready to get to see again.
Mhm.
And I'm also going to say one thing about Dune Part 3 is that I am excited for it, but not for the same reasons that I'd be excited for any other movie, because I'm actually not big on Dune at all. The first two movies, as you may know, we discussed before, I didn't
Yeah.
love. I didn't love it all. I was kind of bored with it. Didn't love it. I think it was kind of all style, no substance. But that trailer, oof, man. Wow, 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 wow. I'm excited because it's going to give me the motivation to go back to the other two movies and try them again. And I'm always eager to kind of do that and revisit a franchise that I didn't really fall into before. So I'm excited to try Dune again and top it off with Dune Part 3.
You know, I have to admit, watching the whole 14-minute clip of Supergirl, that was definitely them. Also, because of course, you know, Supergirl had this whole presentation. Millie Alcock, the director, also the co-owner of the I guess president of DC, Peter Safran, and Jason Momoa were all on stage to talk about Supergirl. Momoa entered the stage on his motorcycle from the movie. That was pretty cool to see. He wasn't in his comic accurate outfit because you know he would wear his costume like how Peacemaker does, but he came on stage with his whole bike. There's a whole sequence. They had this creepy alien DJing the whole presentation. That's pretty cool. But you could tell they tried to really get the theater owners to love this movie with this whole 14-minute clip of Supergirl. But this movie gives me vibes of Guardians of the Galaxy, and that to me is a red flag. So
A
I
red
feel
flag.
to me because because I don't want a DC film to give me vibes of a Marvel film because I want Supergirl to stand out in its own way. So I don't know if it's just the clip doing that to me, or I gotta watch the whole movie to just see how it all plays out. But knowing James Gunn was behind this, of course, and just the characters in this movie, the costume, the outfits, the makeup, it all gives me Guardians of the Galaxy vibes, and that to me is a red flag because I don't want the vibes of a Marvel film and a DC film, especially for Guardians of the Galaxy. I want Supergirl to stand out as its own special film. So don't get me wrong, I'm still watching Supergirl 100%, but my hype level is not as high as it was before, but I'm still watching it. But I gotta say, the movie that really caught my attention, even though we saw a small teaser for it, was Clayface. A rated R. I hate horror films, but if it's DC or Marvel, I'm watching it. I don't care. It's a DC body horror film, and when I see horror, it's horror. Like you could see the whole teaser begins with the actor in a hospital bed with his face completely distorted and covered up, like he was severely beat up by something. He had one eye. You can see the eye socket empty. Like it's a horror film, a body
Oof.
horror film. I had no idea DC could go this far ever. So Clayface to me is my standout besides Mortal Kombat. But either way, other than that, Warner gave us the slate for next year, which I'm gonna go through thoroughly. I was gonna say the names for next year for Warner Bros. The only studio who gave us a slate for next year. Minecraft 2 is coming. We have a movie called Remain, Panic Carefully, Oceans. I guess it's like a prequel, or sequel to other movie. Bad Fairies, we have like basically Santa Claus, but more about the wife, played by Melissa McCarthy. It's a cartoon movie. Of course, Superman 2 was confirmed. We got a video by Nicholas Hoult, David Cornstra, and James Gunn telling us that's coming out next year. We got Shiver with Keanu Reeves. He gave us a video about him on the ocean where he has to avoid getting eaten by sharks, something like that. But it's starring Keanu Reeves. Evil Dead Wrath with Sam Raimi directing. You have Godzilla times Kong Supernova officially coming out next year, a Nancy Meyers film, and finally, for December 17th next year, The Hunt for Golem, and the cast was announced. It's somewhere out there online. So Warner Bros. Is cooking between this year and next year, 100%. But guys, other than that, any other films I mentioned between this year and next year that stand out to you?
Well, for next year, the three that stood out to me were Superman, Man of Tomorrow, Evil Dead Wrath with Sam Raimi returning, and what was the last one you said?
The Hunt for Golem?
The Hunt for Gollum, with Lord of the Rings. I'm not really sure how they tackle that, especially with all the cast being much older now. I don't know what story they're adapting with it, but I'm interested.
I thought it was a cartoon movie, so I was far less. No, it's not.
It's not. Okay.
Oh no! So they showed a small clip, very small clip of the creature. He's in a dark cave talking to himself. I thought it was a cartoon movie at first, but it looks like it's live action. It looks like it for sure. The cave looked real. The creature was talking to himself, and it looks dead-ass creepy. But guys, with that said, that was it for Warner Bros. Warner Bros. is my number one panel of the week because they have the most movies announced. But let's move on to Universal. I know we're moving on pretty fast. I just want to make sure I get to Disney in time. Universal's panel, we didn't get a big trailer for it, but it's called Sense and Sensibility for Focus Features, and Werewolf by Robert Eager. We got, of course, Christopher Nolan came on stage, and he joked around saying that if he brought the cast up for the Odyssey, they'll break down the stage. That's how big of a cast this was. So only him came on stage, gave us a free hat, which I have here for the Odyssey on it. They gave us a 5 to 6 minute clip from the Odyssey, the whole Trojan horse scene with the longer trailer. Steven Spielberg came on stage. He was interviewed by Coleman Domingo for Disclosure Day. Of course, his UFO movie. We got Other Mommy by Jessica Chastain, who played the villain in X-Men Dark Phoenix. And she's legit creepy. Oh my god. We get 2 scenes in a trailer for Minions and Monsters. We got a rom-com called One Night Only, starring Callum Turner and the woman from Top Gun. I forget her name. So something Barbaro from A Complete Unknown. I forget her first name, but her last name is Barbaro from Top Gun, the woman. Her and Callum Turner star in this rom-com. We got, of course, Falker in Law 2. It's hilarious. Ariana Grande, Ben Stiller, Robert De Niro, hilarious. The sequel to Violent Night with David Harbour. And we have, and they didn't show who's playing the wife until later in the trailer. Kristen Bell plays the wife in Violent Night 2. And Snoop Dogg came on stage, gave a little performance, and announced his biopic, played by the dude from Outer Banks, Jonathan Isaac. I'm not sure his name was, but the guy from Outer Banks, he's playing Snoop Dogg in his biopic. So that's it for Universal and Focus Features. Very small slate. But guys, give me your standouts from this list, which I'm pretty sure I know what it is, but I just want to hear from you. It's a very small slate. Most of them is this year. So Perry, go ahead.
I got 3. I'll be quick about it. The first one is my most anticipated movie of the year alongside Dune Part 3, and that's Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. I'm super excited to see how he tackles such a grand epic and classic tale like The Odyssey with diving into Greek mythology, using a lot of practical effects. I'm excited to see that Cyclops, and the cast is just like you said, it would break the stage. So I'm very much looking forward to that. The other two that I wanted to mention are Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day and Robert Eggers' Werewolf. I'm a big fan of Robert Eggers. I love the White House, not the White House, the Lighthouse. I was a fan of Nosferatu, but not as high on it as others. Also, The Witch is pretty great. So, um, seeing him dive into werewolves and Aaron Taylor Johnson returning, just like in Nosferatu, that's exciting. And then Disclosure Day, I love Spielberg. He's one of my favorite directors of all time. It looks like he's really going back into sci-fi, which I'm excited for. And from everything that I've seen, I'm looking forward to that.
Aspect.
Yeah, as Perry said, I am also looking forward to the Odyssey. I'm a huge Greek nut, so I love Greek mythology. I love Greek history, and I mean, if anyone's gonna bring some gravitas to that, it's gonna be Nolan himself, you know. But I do feel as though the cast is a little bit of a stunt. It's a little bit of stunt casting, you know.
Yeah.
I would have liked some fresh faces. That would have been cool. A complete like a cast stacked with completely A-list actors is a little crazy. I wonder how that's going to reflect on the movie's budget, but I'm sure they've got that handled. But for the most part, yeah, I'm really excited for the Odyssey the most. I think that's might actually be my most anticipated movie of the year besides Spider-Verse. And I just I'm excited for it. I just hope that the A-listers are not going to let the fact that they're A-listers carry them through the film, you know. I want to see some of the best acting I've ever seen.
And again, the fact that the Odyssey was filmed entirely in IMAX cameras, the visuals and the sound design hearing that trailer in that certain theater was breathtaking. And seeing all those A-listers, like you said, to me, I feel like a movie as big as the Odyssey, I feel like it would help to have such huge casting in this movie just to help, I guess, this movie in the box office. And listen, Christopher Nolan, one of the greatest directors of all time, I trust him and his team when it comes to casting. And seeing this clip in this trailer, it seems like everyone plays for their role truthfully. I mean, we saw one little dialogue between Tom Holland's character and John Berthel, and to me, it was like watching an uncle and nephew interact. I'm not sure how the whole thing goes, but to me, that's how it was like watching them. Anne Hathaway, of course, Robert Pattinson, Zendaya, Matt Damon. This can go on, and like he said, this stage could break down if everyone came on. But again, The Odyssey is one of my most anticipated films of the year, besides personally Doomsday. But guys, other than that, anything else you want to mention from this panel before we move on to, I believe, Amazon?
Nah, man, go for it. Stop on to
All right. Next up, guys, one Amazon, man, like last year, they cooked, man. I had the sword for Masters of the Universe in my room. They gave it out for free over there for everyone.
Oh, but, lucky, bro.
Also at the end, I'm gonna give you a little small. I mean, I'm sure you saw my story, but I think her name is Tila. Tila from Masters of the Universe. The woman her name is Camila Mendez. I'm sure you saw my story, but I'm not sure how crazy the whole timing went, but I saw Camila Mendez waiting for her baggage at baggage claim right next to me at the Miami airport. I got a selfie with her, a moment I'll never forget. And this was a moment outside the event. This was probably the cherry on top to the whole week of mine. I don't know how it happened, but no one knows except for me. But yeah, anyways, let's go on. Thomas Crown Affair 2, guys. Thomas Crown Affair 2 with Michael B. Jordan and Adria Arjona. They both came on stage, talked to us, gave us a clip and a trailer for Thomas Crown Affair next year in March coming out. Of course, we got a clip and a trailer for Masters of the Universe. We got Beekeeper 2. This is Statham at his best. I know we've seen him in so many action movies, but you've not seen him in this movie the way he is. There's a little moment in the trailer where he's bleeding. He has bullet wounds on him, and he has bees to cure up the wounds for him. Bees. And
I just can't believe they're doing a second Beekeeper.
Oh, when you see this trailer, you will not be disappointed. I swear. There's one moment with he uses a flamethrower in the most sickest way possible. If you guys know Ghost Rider, picture Ghost Rider in Beekeeper 2. He basically uses a flamethrower and turns someone into Ghost Rider. I'll just say that. It looks insane. The Street Detectives with Hugh Jackman, that looks probably the most boring but still interesting movies. Your Mother, Your Mother, Your Mother, starring Marshall Ali. He plays, I believe this movie, he plays a hitman and a father who basically tries to protect his neighborhood. There's more to it, that's all I remember. How to Rob a Bank featured Nicholas Hoult, Pete Davidson, and the woman from Shogun, Monarch, the Chinese woman. They gave a whole performance for the presentation for the movie. I play Rocky. I forgot the guy's name. I think it's Anthony Ilowipa, something like that. But he looks and sounds like Rocky, like dead ass. This movie looks really incredible. Spaceballs 2 trailer for it was shown. Most random and hilarious film I've ever seen, and this is the first time I've ever saw footage of Spaceballs. This is the first time ever seeing Spaceballs footage, and it looks ridiculous. We get the second Highlander with Henry Cavill, Dave Bautista, and Karen Gillan. They're still in production, so we got a little behind the scenes clip. The Chosen, it's more like I think it's like a Jesus kind of story. We got Verity, a film based off a novel. They gave out the novel for free. I have it here. I'm gonna give it to probably Abner because I don't read books anymore. And A Cult is My Passport. Picture John Wick and the Ballerina movie spinoff. Picture those two movies into one. That's how crazy this action is for this movie. And Monkey Man. The action in this movie is completely insane. So, guys, with that said, I know it's a small list, but it's a great list. Give me your standouts for Amazon and what should be looking forward to the most.
I got two. One, I'm interested in that Thomas Crown affair. I was reading that a little bit. Directed by Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
I know he made Creed 3. Coming off of Sinners, I'm excited to see his next piece of work. It also stars Adria Arona, Lily Gladstone, and Kenneth Branagh. That's really cool. No idea what it's about, but those are a lot of names that I like, and so I'm interested in that. The second one is actually Spaceballs 2.
Oh yeah.
I've seen the original Spaceballs and was a big fan of it. It's very funny, directed by Mel Brooks. It takes all of the gags and makes fun of the likes of like Star Wars, Star Trek, all these different movies. It's very fun, very, very silly, great time. I'm also just very impressed that Mel Brooks is still making movies. He's 99 years old. So that's crazy in itself. And I see that Rick Moranis is returning too. And I know he retired from acting.
Yeah.
So it's cool that they brought him back. So I'm looking forward to that.
I gotta say, Rick probably got the biggest standing ovation at the event. I gotta say, and they have this whole. I'm sorry, Aspect will go to you first, and I'll continue. So go ahead, Aspect. What names stood out to you?
Yeah, man. It's, Spaceballs 2. I'm a diehard Star Wars fan, so seeing that make its return is really special. You gotta, especially as a Star Wars fan, you know that the franchise has been around for so long. You have to learn how to laugh at it too, and Spaceballs kind of gives you the perfect outlet for that. It's like seeing my drunk uncle come back and tell his stupid jokes at the table. I'm ready for that. I want it now. And honestly, you know, I'll give a little bit of love to Beekeeper 2. Not for any respectable reason, but more so, I think Jason Statham is really starting to come like a caricature of himself. And this movie might be like full-blown Jason Statham in all his Stathamness. But yeah, I think, Spaceballs 2 has to be my golden boy, my number one pick.
I cannot wait. I think Spaceballs 2, the teaser, was already released, but I'm not sure. I didn't see it on my phone yet, But the one that was shown to us, maybe it's the same one you guys saw. The ending of it is completely hilarious, where you see an Avatar character peeing in the stall. That was the most random moment of the entire trailer, and I'm just so I'm still shocked I've not seen Spaceballs 1 because this movie was the most random and ridiculous film I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's a ton of fun.
Yeah, it looks like it for sure. And the cast, they all had this inside bit where whenever someone had a question for Rick, some other member of the cast would take over for him and not let him speak. It was an amazing skit, and they really grabbed my attention since the whole thing began. But I gotta admit, the one that stood out to me the most is honestly I Play Rocky because I'm a huge Rocky fan, huge Sylvester Stallone fan, and seeing this guy embody young Stallone in this film, seeing his dedication to being Rocky. This is about him. This film is basically about um the the guy he wants to star as Rocky. It's basically about the making of the film Rocky. It's not like a biopic. It's about the making of the film Rocky.
Oh,
And
interesting.
his dedication, his commitment to wanting to be this character, it really reminds me of anyone out there who has a dream and they don't let anything in life stop them from accomplishing that one dream they have in their life. The goal. I'm sure we all have the one goal in life we want to do. He has this one goal in life to play Rocky, and he doesn't let anything stop him from playing that character. Doesn't matter about the money, doesn't matter about location wise. His dynamic with God, I'm really bad with names, but there's a woman in this movie who I saw from somewhere else. I'm really bad with names, but his dynamic with everyone in this film is truly. For the first time seeing him play in any movie, he looks like he was born to play this character because his face, his voice, really embodies Rocky, young Rocky. Like that was my standout. Besides Master of the Universe, Thomas Crown Affair, and Beekeeper 2. But anyways, guys, any last thoughts on Amazon before going to Paramount?
No.
Spaceballs.
May the shorts be with you.
There you go. All right. Let's move on to I believe it was Thursday morning. We have Paramount. So Paramount, the first thing we got, of course, if you see this picture, Billie Eilish and James Cameron came on stage. We all got 3D glasses. They played the whole trailer for Billie Eilish's concert movie. I gotta say, this one was my least anticipated movie of the year. I'm not a Billie Eilish fan, but if I do see this movie, it would be only for James Cameron, who directed this film. He directed the Avatar films. The cameras they use for this movie, guys, you see everything on stage from a crowd's point of view. You see Billie Eilish's view. You see the crowd's point of view for Billie Eilish. You see a lot of different point of views behind the scenes, the music. This movie looks, and I know I'm saying this, it looks pure cinema in 3D only. Because this film is made in 3D. It was made for 3D. So if you were to see this, don't see it in 2D. See the magic behind the making of this 3D. Jackass 5, we saw the whole trailer for it. It looks like a complete. It's like I don't know how to explain it. It's just a Jackass Film 5, Paw Patrol, and Angry Birds 3. Live action Call of Duty is in the works. 2 years coming out. Scary Movie 6, Scream 8 was announced, and World War Z 2 was announced. We got Children of Blood and Bone, which is stacked, by the way. We got Johnny Depp on stage for A Christmas Carol, which is like a Christmas horror film in a way. We have Heart of the Beast starring Brad Pitt. TMNT Mutant Mayhem 2. Top Gun 3. Of course, Street Fighter. The whole trailer for the whole cast came on stage, gave us the whole trailer for it. The new Transformers film, I think it's live action, is in the works. A Quiet Place 3, Sonic 4. A Quiet Place 3 and Sonic 4 is next year. And of course, G.I. Joe live action is coming up. So guys, between the whole list, which film are you looking forward to the most?
A couple things. I'm curious to see where the Billie Eilish concert movie goes. I think her pairing up with James Cameron is fascinating. I I was fortunate. I was fortunate enough to actually see the real concert, so I don't know how much of the actual movie I'll see, but
Maybe
I'm
maybe it's
interested in
movie.
it. I saw it in real life.
Okay.
Um, so the one that I'm most curious about is Top Gun 3. I don't
Mhm.
really know where they go after Top Gun Maverick. I felt like that was kind of the perfect ending to that set of movies. So I'm not really sure where they go from here. And then one more to mention is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Yeah.
Mutant Mayhem. I was a fan of the first one. I really like the animation style, but I hope they uh, go a little further with this one. Maybe adapt more Shredder storylines or just
Yeah.
something like that.
They did mention Shredder in this movie as well.
Okay.
Aspect, how about you?
Oh man. Okay, well, it's very obvious, but Sonic the Hedgehog has been an unrelenting obsession of mine for as long as I've been able to breathe oxygen. And
Wow.
let me tell you, my butt is going to be sat glued to that chair in the theater when Sonic 4 drops. I am watching that movie the millisecond it comes out. I've been aching for a successful Sonic the Hedgehog movie franchise forever. And the fact
Mm.
that this trilogy has been successful, and we got the first one, and the second one, and the third one, and each one ramped up in stakes, character, drama, plot, I can only imagine 4 is going to be immensely intense. I just know for a fact that Jim Carrey is going to deliver one of the greatest performances we've ever seen. Metal
Mhm.
Sonic is going to become a mainstream villain, which is a first. And Sonic the
Yeah.
Hedgehog he's going to become a household name, which he was before. But this is going to introduce the lore and mythos of the Sonic franchise to a whole new generation, which Sega has been having a very, very hard time with. So I don't just think Sonic the Hedgehog 4 is going to be great. I think it's going to be revolutionary. That's what I think.
Wow. All right. Well, my end. It was one of the last movies shown, but I gotta say, guys, don't sleep on this film called Heart of the Beast. It's starring Brad Pitt and directed by David Ayer. I believe he made The Beekeeper, I think. Or, yeah, I think. I don't remember. But, anyways, it's basically an action adventure film that does follow an Army Special Forces soldier, Brad Pitt, and his retired combat dog who battled, I'm reading off this thing clearly, who battled for survival after a plane crash deep in the unforgiving Alaskan wilderness. So you're watching a survival action flick, and they just basically the gist of it, the whole trailer did show them going through sweat, blood, and tears just to survive out of the wilderness. They combat storms. I mean, they battle through storms, bears, the ocean, or some kind of river, but they go through, of course, illness, sickness. They did like I've never seen Brad Pitt in this kind of movie besides trying to survive World War Z. Besides that, I've not seen any other film with him like this in it. And I gotta say, if that dog dies, I'm gonna sue Paramount. That's what I'm gonna say. But anyways, guys, anything else in the list I mentioned that
I
stands out the most?
I do have one question. You were
Yeah.
there, so maybe you would know. I heard you at the end mention a new Transformers movie.
Yeah.
Is that a sequel to Transformers 1, or is that something entirely different?
So they didn't give us any details at all on Transformers, just as happening. They didn't even say if it's live action or cartoon. They didn't say that. But I saw on Twitter that someone asked Shia LaBeouf a couple of years ago if he's coming back for Transformers, and he said that he's working on it. He's working on it, so this could be a sequel to that. I'm not sure if everyone's coming back from that movie. Megan Fox, the guy who played the soldier, those two guys. I'm not sure if it's a sequel to that or if it's a whole different cast. But Shia LaBeouf said he's working on it, so that's all I can say. That's all I know myself.
Him saying he's working on it is hilarious.
Right. So maybe it's great timing, coincidence. Maybe he is coming back. I'm sure we'll get more details by the end of the year or
I don't
next.
know if he's coming back because his character died, but we'll see.
It could be a prequel, or I mean, I don't even know why. He's too
I
old
don't know,
for a prequel to
He-
happen.
I'm just saying what I read, and that's all. But, anyways, guys, Anything else that stood out to you before we move on?
No.
All good.
All right. Now, guys, I am extremely pleased to mention we're down to our last panel, and I'm very surprised that this is the thumbnail for Disney. Haley Steinfeld and Rashida Jones in Hexed, which was we saw a clip from it, great clip, great animation. But arguably my favorite panel of the week, besides Warner Bros. Let's run down the list. It's a very small list. Not very small, but small. So we got a clip and a trailer for The Devil Wears Prada 2. We get the whole intro to Mandalorian and Grogu, the whole intro sequence. We got Star Wars Starfighter was announced. We got 2 clips from Toy Story 5. Moana, of course, The Rock and Catherine, who plays Moana, came on stage, talked to us about the movie, gave us a clip and a trailer for Moana. We got the Dog Stars, I think it's 20th Century Studios. We got Whalefall, which actually made a video about Whalefall. We got the most intense, gripping, and claustrophobic clip from Whalefall. And it's simply about a scuba diver who goes down in the deep ocean looking for his father's remains, and he gets swallowed up by a whale, a huge sperm whale. And the clip they gave us was the whole entire process of watching him getting swallowed up by the whale. And let me tell you, the camera work did such a great job at making us feel like we're with him going down the whale's throat. You feel so claustrophobic. It's gripping, and the audience reaction I've never heard before my entire life. They all felt uneased. They felt squeamished, and it's a Disney kind of film, 20th Century Studios. So I can't believe at all that this is a movie under Disney. I was completely shocked. Wild Horse 9, this is from, I believe, Searchlight. Wild Horse 9, Super Troopers 3, Hexed, the animated film finally was announced with the clip. Gato finally announced for next year. Ice Age 6, we get the whole intro for Ice Age 6. And of course, last but not least, Marvel came on stage for Doomsday, which I will explain after we go through our standouts names from this list. So Perry, we'll start with you. What names stand out to you the most from this Disney panel?
You know, it's interesting. You have all of these these groups of movies that I love. I love Star Wars. I love Marvel. I even love The Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
But the one that I'm most interested in, also Toy Story 5. The one that I'm the most interested in, mostly because I saw a trailer for it, was Wild Horse 9, directed by Martin McDonagh. This looks like a really fun, like, dark comedy with John Malkovich and Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of the Banshees of Inisherin when that came out, so I'm excited to see this new dynamic and how far they're gonna take it.
So that film to you stood out the most, right?
Yeah.
All right. How about you, Aspect?
It's gonna be TIE Fighter because, well, for one,
Starfighter?
yeah, for one, man, Star Wars, come on, you can't beat that. And for two, Ryan Gosling, seeing his Star Wars debut, man, I love that guy. He's like my favorite actor, and Hail Mary was amazing, and he has just he's great. He's got great chops in every movie he's in. He brings a good energy. I'm excited to see him be riding a spaceship in space again. That's gonna be fun. But I'm actually not at all excited for Doomsday, like at all.
You're not, or you are?
I'm not excited for Doomsday. I just don't think it's like, as a film, I don't think it's very impressive.
Well, I hope after what I talked about will change your mind. But anyways, which film did you say you were looking forward to the most? I'm sorry.
TIE Fighter.
Starfighter, right?
Is it Starfighter or TIE Fighter?
It's Starfighter.
Starfighter.
With Ryan Gosling, the Star Wars film.
Awesome. Starfighter it is.
All right.
I like to say I'm also kind of in the same boat where I'm not super excited for Doomsday.
Yeah.
A lot of the details that I've heard where this takes place like directly after Endgame, so we're just gonna ignore all the garbage that they've been feeding us for almost 10 years now. So I don't know. I'm very much just in the middle for it.
It does not
Oh, wait.
exude confidence on Marvel's part at all, and it's just too much of a last minute pivot for anything to be working at all. Doom was not built up. This crossover event was not built up. This is not like the Infinity Saga where we got to see our characters gradually get to work together to bring down this evil that's been looming in the shadows for like a while. It sucks. We were supposed to get Kang. We didn't get Kang. Doom is a Fantastic Four villain, and he won't be that. RDJ is Doom, and that just sucks because Doom's supposed to be Romanian.
No, but keep going. But once it's my turn, I'll correct you and everything you're saying. Don't worry.
I don't think. I mean, what I'm saying is fact. I don't think it could be corrected. I mean, I really would rather people like the movie. I want people to have a good time. I want people to love the movie. So please go ahead and let me know what you think.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys went to your movie you look forward to the most. My turn. Besides Doomsday, I have to say I did mention the clip from it. Besides Toy Story 5, Devil Wears Prada 2, and even Star Wars movies, Whalefall, we saw a clip from that movie. Again, I've never seen a Disney film or clip look as intense and gripping as Whalefall looks because again, it shows first of all the scuba diver diving down, exploring the down in the ocean, looking for his father's remains. And it shows his whale trying to eat the shark or fish next to him. Then the whale eyes the scuba diver. The scuba diver tries to escape to the surface of the ocean. And then you see the whale literally tackle the diver with his tentacles from the mouth. And after that, it's like a good 10, 15 minutes process of watching him both struggle to leave the mouth of the whale while it's pulling him into its throat and to swallow him. The whole entire thing, again, they want you to feel like you're being swallowed in with the diver. So the camera work is exceptional. You feel like you're claustrophobic. I mean, if you get claustrophobic easily, don't watch this movie because you will feel it's a very tight space for a good portion of the movie. And like I said, it is intense. It's gripping. It's claustrophobic, and the ending of this clip shows him actually getting swallowed down by the whale, and then he spends the rest of the film, I believe the rest of the film, I heard the whole synopsis, him trying to escape the whale with limited oxygen left, limited air left, while trying to face his past. That's the whole synopsis of the book. Maybe the movie's different or not, but the clip that was shown immediately caught my attention. Whalefall is my most anticipated film of the year. I think it's this year, October 16th. Besides that, of course, you have Toy Story 5, and of course, Doomsday. Now, any last thoughts on Doomsday to you before I step in?
I'm also not completely sold on Doomsday. I feel like this, just like you mentioned, is very rushed. They had to grab the Russo brothers together to try to save them, and they kind of need it as well because a lot of their movies outside of Marvel have not been great. It doesn't feel like the same amount of hype as the Infinity Saga. I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that this movie is exceptional. I'm also not sold on Dr. Doom being Robert Downey Jr. and him maybe being another variant of Tony Stark. That's kind of disappointing to me. For Doomsday, I know that's like the big thing between Dune 3 and Doomsday. I'm picking Dune Part 3, but I am looking forward to seeing both. Like it's still a Marvel movie. I'll still be there, but I can't just go into it without acknowledging the mishaps that led to it.
All right. So for those watching and those wondering why nothing was leaked, first of all, from CinemaCon, I had so many questions. The whole story was why wasn't it leaked? Guys, first of all, CinemaCon is not a fan event. CinemaCon is an event for theater owners and the security. The security for CinemaCon itself was so crazy. Here's new rock stars, the videographer went, and here's basically how tight the security is. Sometimes, and I quote, sometimes you see whenever someone's on their phone whenever a whole footage was shown, so Disney was the only panel where you could take pictures. That was allowed on stage. Whenever you have people on stage, pictures on screen, that was allowed. But any videos or footage that was being played, no videos, nothing. So whenever, because lights would go down. So whenever a trailer or anything would be shown, and someone was on their phones, on Twitter, Instagram, texting, doesn't matter. You would see a green laser randomly sweeping across theater seats. At first, you would think, what troll has a green laser, right? But you realize that's actually the security. So every security, they have security in every aisle, every section of every aisle, at every floor. Walking down each aisle, and they would flash a green laser at your phone that would literally, 1 second. So staff would use night vision goggles to spot people using their phones to try and record anything. Once they see the phone on, the laser would zap the laser would scramble and blacken their screens. So the lasers would basically mess with the infrared lighting on their phones, and it would turn off their phones automatically. And then the people recording would be escorted out of theater and forced to delete any footage. So security is pretty tight at CinemaCon, and that's all I'm gonna say for that. So that's basically the gist of it. So, anyways,
I wonder if they accounted for meta glasses.
Oh, I actually thought of bringing that, but I didn't bring it. I did ask. But once the trailer began, you would see so many green lasers, like it's a whole nightclub. One would blast there, one would blast there. It would go everywhere, and you see people actually leaving, being escorted out. That's why anything you guys see online is all AI. It's all fake. I am one of the people that went there, and here's what I saw from the trailer for those interested. If you don't want to know, leave. But here's the breakdown of it, and here's what I remember. So I'm gonna actually go on also to Brand Davis, who actually did a complete rundown, and I'm gonna give you guys also what I basically saw myself. And in short terms, it was my wet dream come to life. That's literally what I actually saw. And let me run through the breakdown real quick. I'm sorry if I'm taking too long with this, but okay. So the X-Men teaser. Right, how it begins with the Xavier's mansion sign laying on the ground, destroyed. That's the first shot of the trailer, right? You see the Xavier School for special kids, the whole sign destroyed on the ground. It then shows Professor X looking at a window, watching an incursion happening. Perry, I believe an incursion, that's two worlds colliding, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, so yeah, so you would see
like the Fox X-Men.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
At least in the comics, an incursion is two universes crashing into each other.
Right. So it shows Professor X looking out a window, watching an incursion happening, and during the beginning part of the trailer, we hear Dr. Doom narrating the trailer. He has an accent. Like if you did not know it was Robert Downey Jr., you wouldn't know it was him at all. He has an accent, so he sounds like someone else. That's the best part, which questions why he was cast at all, if it's an accent. But anyways, Dr. Doom is saying something's coming, something we may not be able to deter. And then Professor X sees flames come across from the sky out of his window. He looks really scared. Doom is presumably the one who's narrating with a small accent, and we see him start to rise in a different setting. So you see that a camera rise from a downward angle. So you see Dr. Doom's upper body from the side. And if you see any of those promo images, he looks very similar to that. Then we go on to the new Avengers Tower. It has a new A logo on it. We see the building is updated, obviously. And we see the Fantastic Four. They meet Bucky, Ant-Man, and a new Captain America, and members of Thunderbolts, few of them. And Thor is gathering everyone together in the tower, and we hear Thor narrating the rest of the trailer. Thor is telling stories of his people dying and how this threat, Doom, scares him more than anything before. He narrates the rest of the trailer with this quote. This is the best quote ever from Thor. I have fought with many warriors in my time. They were far stronger than any of us combined, and they died. They died facing enemies and threats that scared him far less than this one. Everything that we sacrifice will be for nothing if we don't stand together. If you return, you will return as brothers and sisters. But mark my words, we're going to need a miracle. Next up, you see Cyclops in his comic accurate suit and a new shot. The one we saw with blasting visions, that was not in this version. This version, we see him running down a hallway. Then we see Gambit fighting Shang-Chi, both using their powers, and it looks epic, like a dance. The Fantastic Four, they meet the Wakandans in a desert made because water has been forced away by Namor. He splits the ocean apart like Moses. And then we see Mystique from X-Men, I think X-Men 2. We see Mystique forming into Yelena, fighting Yelena. So they're fighting each other, basically. And then after that, you see, basically, as Thor's speech is still going, Thor, this is the biggest part of the trailer. I see Gambit leaping from a statue and doing his whole, like, I'm not sure what you call this power, but you see Gambit leaping off the statue. And then the biggest part is, you guys remember Infinity War?
Yep.
The big shot of Thor leaping as he goes into Wakanda?
Yep.
So that moment is replicated very similar again in a whole different setting. You see Thor rising up. He smashes Stormbreaker. He swings Stormbreaker at Doctor Doom, but Doctor Doom stops the swing with 2 fingers. Doesn't move. Like how Stormbreaker was able to get thrown through the Infinity Stones by Thanos. Doom stopped the swing with 2 fingers. Didn't move. And then we see Thor struggling to even touch Doctor Doom. So he decides we're going to need a miracle, and then at the end of the trailer, we hear the words "Hey pal," and then we see Hey pal is heard from someone's screen, and then this is I think aboard the Fantastic Four's ship. We see someone with long hair and a beard. So Steve Rogers that's Steve Rogers. He has his whole Infinity War look again, and Thor is in disbelief. He goes, "It's not possible." He lays out his hand with the hammer, Mjolnir, and he tests to see if Thor is worthy, if Steve Rogers is still worthy. He opens his hand, Mjolnir flies to Steve Rogers' hand, and that's the end of shot. We see Steve Rogers grabbing Mjolnir from Thor's hand, and that's it. It blacks out. The whole title card comes in with a different version of the theme song, much more fire, much more dope. And it says the countdown says 8 months. Like you see, if you guys look at my story, my post, you see right there. And then it says 12, 18, 26. So Doomsday is still happening officially. 12, 18, it says is Doomsday. So it's officially happening. Doomsday is coming out December 18th. It's not being moved to the 11th. And that's it. And remember, it's not a fan event. The theater owners, most of the part, and everyone was begging for the trailer to be played again. And Kevin Feige says that wasn't planned. They played again, and then everyone leaves the whole room as the countdown still goes on. That is the last presentation for CinemaCon. That gets everyone talking. Twitter blows up. Everyone begs for a trailer for any leaked versions, but they don't understand security. So guys, if you pictured everything I said in your heads, what do you think now of this trailer? And when do you think we can expect it to be released online? Yeah.
Well, you said a lot there.
Mm-hmm.
I can see why.
It was 2 minutes long. It feels like it was quite overwhelming after a minute for a trailer at CinemaCon. I was expecting those 30-second reels like you got back in December, like those 4 teasers. But it was a full 2-minute trailer with so many things happening. I was truly shocked how much they showed.
Yeah, so you said a lot there. Sounded like a lot happened. I could see why friend of the show Abner didn't show up for this episode. So I don't know. I still have the same skepticism going into it, but I'm still curious to see how they approach all of it.
Mm-hmm. Aspect, after hearing my whole dialogue, what do you think now?
Yeah, after hearing your whole dialogue, I gotta say, as visceral and vivid as you described it, it still
Mhm.
sounds very, very, very underwhelming.
Okay.
That doesn't sound like a movie or a narrative or a plot to me. That just sounds
Right.
more like these directors are just gonna prioritize trying to convince us that everything they just did is super, super cool and worth it. Let's have Chris Hemsworth describe to the audience why Doom should be revered and feared instead of showing us. They're just gonna tell us like, oh my god, he's terrifying, he's scary, and none of the
Well,
other
this is
villains.
right. Well, as the first trailer, we really just know
I
now
will.
that Thor
I
is the
will.
main
Yeah, but
character.
it just feels like a kind of like a just it feels less like a movie and more like a this giant playground of a bunch of
Mhm.
characters being like caricatures of themselves.
I will defend it a little bit here. It is really just the first look. I hope that they
Yeah.
dive into why Doom is this big threat, um, instead of just telling us. I will say I do kind of agree. This feels like a major event
Yeah.
rather than the movie, and not really sure how we got here to
Yeah.
earn this event.
It
Right.
just doesn't feel like the necessary next step. I feel like I'm kind of walking into something that I don't have the context for. Uh,
Mhm.
I just don't see where this. I don't see like where we're coming from and where we're going. I have no idea. I'm not comfortable with this
Mhm.
movie. And Thor monologuing about how scary Doom is isn't gonna really change my mind on the fact that Doom didn't earn his place as like the next MCU villain at all.
Okay.
And I just a bunch of clips taped together of characters just interacting isn't going to make a compelling narrative. I
Mhm.
want story and I
Well,
want depth. You know.
Perry, you guys mentioned before how you don't really understand how this would make sense as a sequel to Endgame, right?
Mhm.
Hmm.
One thing I didn't mention actually was that they're re-releasing Endgame in theaters in September. Joe and Anthony Russo actually did explain that they're rewriting the ending of Endgame to make it fit into Doomsday.
Oh,
Actually,
I hate
Oh,
that.
that doesn't. That's not.
I hate that.
that's what they're
Come on,
doing.
man. Is that really what they're doing?
Yeah, I was there, and I'm reading a tweet, verified tweet, saying Joe Russo calls Endgame re-release a critical companion story and a setup for what you're gonna watch in December when you see Doomsday. So this
Oh, that
will go
sucks,
into
bro.
Doomsday. So they're rewriting the ending this time.
I
That
hate that.
sucks. That really, really sucks. I'm not happy about that at all.
I mean, I'm just the guy giving you guys information, and maybe we see one thing I actually want to see it in the ending is maybe we see a portion of Chris Evans returning stones and why Doomsday is happening at all now. That's
I
what I
mean,
want to
look,
see.
maybe I'm wrong, but you guys can tell me if you feel as though your immersion is being broken a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it's if we're going back and rewriting other movies to make it make more sense
Yeah,
now,
no,
then
I'm
Yeah.
with you on that. I hate that. I don't like that at all. It also very much seems like we're glossing over, like I said before you said all of this,
Hmm.
all of the previous movies after Endgame heading into this, because
yeah.
they know that a lot of it wasn't great. So they're I'm sorry. I'm
Hopefully,
sorry to say that, but from all of the characters that you even mentioned, I can't even think of like any of them that are in more than two of those movies.
well,
It's just a complete
right.
disaster. It's a
I mean,
complete train wreck.
this movie is a mixture of nostalgia and current members.
That
You see people returning who's played iconic roles for so many years, and newer members too.
that that
I just they even said before I finish off, Kevin Feige mentioned that they even had days where they had 35 actors on set, and they did unfortunately do a lot of rewrites during the filming of the movie. So I hope again I saw just 2 minutes of the trailer. This trailer was only for CinemaCon. I'm not sure if the one they're going to show again in CCXP or Comic Con in San Diego or D23. I'm not sure if it'll be the same trailer or different. I know we're getting a poster next week at CCXP. But I just hope that, like you said, this won't be like a glorified um, comic book fans' wet dream come to life. I want this to make sense. I want us
Well, a
to.
comic book fan's wet dream come to life would really be a good and gritty narrative on the characters that we've fallen in love with, that includes their
Right,
mythos in
right.
a respectable way.
I
That would be a
I
comic
Right.
book
I, I
fan's wet
agree.
dream.
I feel like ever since No Way Home, it's really ruined the way that Marvel has presented their movies. I liked No Way Home, but now it seems like everything is all about the next cameo, the next reference to it, rather than focusing on the narrative. Like you saw with Deadpool and Wolverine, you saw
Yeah.
with Doctor Strange. You see that with a lot of
And Deadpool Wolverine was incredibly underwhelming as well. That also was just not.
I do agree with that. So it seems like this is like the pinnacle of just throwing everything at the canvas and seeing what
Well,
happens
listen.
rather than
I
the
hope when you guys see the trailer, it changes your mind because again, if this got all the fans, press, media people, and the theater owners as hyped enough to get them to play it again, all that matters is that we get a long theatrical window, more premium formats for this movie, and if the theater owners love this film, that to me is all that matters, and that tells you that this, no matter all the negative reviews, no matter all the negative things from other people around the world, people in my theater, they were literally like I know it's an opinion, but they were all the complete opposite of how you guys feel right now. They all loved whatever they saw.
Yeah.
Hopefully, but again, we saw the trailer. Hopefully, when the trailer comes out and you guys watch it, it will change your minds too. That's all.
if
I
they
think it's a
if
little
they
it's a
are
little easy.
if they are going to do like introducing all of these new characters and all these things, I would hope that they take the route of the Spider-Verse movies rather than what they've done previously, where you still get all of these references, but it fits into one really strong narrative.
Mhm.
I don't know if we're gonna get that, but we'll see.
Well, that's my take. That's basically I did my best to explain to you the trailer. You guys gave your fair takes, but guys watching, comment down below your thoughts on what you heard from the trailer, your thoughts on the movies that were announced in these panels. Guys, any last thoughts on the movies that were announced from each panel from Sony, Warner Bros, Universal, Paramount, Amazon, Disney before we move on, before we end it off?
One more thing,
Yeah.
unrelated to Marvel. I still hate that we're remaking animated movies like
Oh my
Moana.
God! Yes, thank you, Perry, dude. Thank
I
you.
I
I've
was
said that
yeah.
I've said that so many times on this podcast. I will continue to repeat it. Animation is important, and every time they remake it, whether it's Moana, whether it's How to Train Your
Yes.
Dragon, it's a worse version of the
Animation is
animated
not a
version.
blueprint. It's not a first draft.
Exactly. It is its
I,
own art, and this is just a bad copy of it that will never live up to it.
I have to admit, watching
Perry,
The
thank
Rock,
you, brother. I really, really just want to say thank you for putting some light on that. That's
I do.
well said.
I have to admit, watching The Rock in that hair looks like a really bad
It looks
costume.
awful. It looks awful.
It looks really bad.
I don't even care, even if the movie looks glorious and it's color graded beautifully, and The Rock looks amazing, and Maui is just a perfect
Which does
sea
not.
god.
And this is a
Uh,
movie that came out 10 years ago. It's not even like
I just don't understand
Listen,
why
not
these
everything.
buffoons insist on remaking stuff that's already been perfectly
Right,
iterated.
right,
It's just
right.
ridiculous. It's
Listen,
ridiculous.
I remember doing I was stopped on the sidewalk at CinemaCon, and they were interviewing people for Fandango or Rotten Tomatoes. I'm not surprised the footage is not online, but they asked me what I think about Disney with this live action movie, and I told them truthfully that not everything in Disney needs live action films. Look at Lilo and Stitch. That one to me was, thank God, a good one, but
I
this
disagree with
this
that.
is the one.
Nah,
live
man, the
action.
Lilo and Stitch one was just god awful.
Listen, opinions.
Didn't they change the ending to
They
where
did.
she gives
Instead of
Lilo
Ohana,
away?
Ohana means family. Ohana means go do your own thing and be a powerful
What is that?
girl boss.
Why is she leaving to California to study marine biology when she lives in Hawaii?
Ridiculous.
I
Because
don't know, man.
she needs to be an individual girl boss and chase her dreams, and that
Listen,
means separating
not
herself
everything,
from Ohana.
not everything needs a live action movie. I guess you can say for yourself, Lilo and Stitch 2. But I'm saying Moana, but it doesn't matter what I say, the money will still be there. But like Baba Goose 32 says, it feels like Marvel lost its glory days. Listen, I'm gonna admit, Marvel to me was the best between Phase 1 and 3. And then you had, of course, Infinity War, Endgame. I love Loki. I love WandaVision. I love No Way Home. Obviously, there are some gaps where there had some ups and downs, of course. But I hope when Doomsday comes out, the glory days will be back where it was. Same with Secret Wars. I'm just wondering to see where Marvel will go after Secret Wars, the whole reboot. I just hope my fandom for Marvel stays where it's at, even during the reboot. But anyways, guys, those were the movies announced from each panel. I'm just curious, which panel to you was your favorite one based on the movies?
Overall, based on everything, I would say Warner Brothers.
Warner Bros. How about you, Aspect?
Warner Bros. Man, the one with Spaceballs.
So Paramount, I think.
Yeah.
No, that was Amazon.
Oh, Amazon. You're right, Amazon. Yes. Sorry, my brain's still scrambled.
Well,
Yes,
so
yeah.
was this just all movie stuff? They didn't have anything for TVs like Invincible.
I thought Clayface was
No.
a TV show. Am I wrong?
No, they're making it. It's a movie.
Okay.
The initial plan was for a TV
So
show. I believe.
remember the event's called CinemaCon. Cinema means movies.
I got you.
You
Nothing
don't
for
say.
TVs. There's no shows. Nothing. Only movies. But any other questions from CinemaCon before we end it?
No, I'm glad you had a great time. Sounds like you did, with a lot of crazy, great experiences. Lots of movies on this slate to look forward to, lots to discuss, and hopefully the people tune in to the podcast and hear more about it.
Aspect, how about you? Any last thoughts?
Yeah. Just like Perry said, man, I'm really happy that you enjoyed yourself and that you found a lot of good things to come back with. And thank you for having us, Jeremy. Thank you for having us on this amazing podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
Listen, guys, I only hope and wish for me to go again with you guys or more, because I go solo, but I do meet some friends who are creators over there who go from LA, New York, Boston, Texas even. So I do hope in the future you guys can come with me, whether it's as a press or get paid for a badge. Hopefully we'll have high-paying jobs to afford a badge. But I hope you guys can join me in the future and we can all experience this together. But yeah, CinemaCon for the 4th straight year has always been a blast. It's always a place, besides theater owners, it's always a place for any film fan. It's basically our heaven for a film fan. So yeah, I can't wait to go next year. The dates are already announced, and I'll be booking my hotel and flight as soon as possible. But with that said, this is season 2, episode 7. We get Perry, Aspect. Guys, thanks for joining this whole CinemaCon recap. Stay tuned, guys, for more content from CinemaCon coming up on my page, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. It's been a blast. And yeah, more to come. And episode 8 hopefully will come sooner rather than later. Perry, Aspect, guys, thanks for joining, and have a great day. We're out.
Likewise.